It's 2026, and what's new for Batman fans? By far, the most exciting addition to the Batman universe will be Clayface, a live-action film about one of the Dark Knight's villains. Why is this interesting? Because it will not be a campy superhero movie, nor will it be an annoyingly self-mocking product like any of the recent Marvel movies. No, Clayface is going to be a dark, tragic, body horror film about an up-and-coming actor, played by Tom Rhys-Harris, who has everything going for him until he is attacked by a gangster who leaves his face horribly disfigured. In an attempt to restore his good looks, actor Matt Hagen goes to a scientist for an experimental new product that ultimately turns out to be his undoing. The product turns Matt Hagen into a shape-shifting monster that everyone comes to call Clayface. And don't worry everyone, it sounds like we'll be getting a more old-school, real effect type of movie. James Gunn stated,
"Secondly, you want to spend, hundreds of thousands of dollars on VFX when it's going to look better if it's practical?" Because there's a lot of amazing practical effects in Clayface.
And thank goodness, because we need something more like Alien 1979, or Predator 1987, or even The Thing 1982. Real visual effects and good writing will always outdo overfunded CGI and shallow writing, every single time.
It's true, man.
So far, however, we have very little information to go on, except that the movie is marked to come out on September 11th, 2026. Curious day to choose for a horror movie release, dudes, but whatever. Typically by this point, there would be plenty shared by the studio on current status of production, but it seems information is sparse. Most of the articles and announcements seem to be from the end of 2024, and there has been no official trailer release as of yet. You're probably here because you're a dedicated Batman fan, but for most folks, they won't know Clayface is coming until the Supergirl movie previews. The hopeful part is that the budget for Clayface, according to bbomb.com, is $40 to $45 million. Why is this a good thing? Because it's enough money to make a unique, artist-driven product. When modern studios try to crank out a blockbuster, they want the greatest guarantee that the movie will succeed in order to justify the massive cost of production. So, what do? They try to pander to political ideologies. They try to rehash old ideas that were successful in the past. Basically, they sacrifice creative freedom in order to reduce the risk of failure. The result is usually bland, unimaginative, regurgitated themes and visuals that are about as memorable as your daily water intake. As a result, you get movies like Superman 2025 and Jurassic World Rebirth. Both had a budget of $500 million. These were supposed to be guaranteed victories for Hollywood, but because they were too predictable and unoriginal, we can sum them up in 3 words: unimpressive, forgettable, boring. Ironically, the methods that studios have been using to guarantee success have proved to be the very things that are making them fail. All this to say that there is hope. Clayface may just be the movie we've been waiting for. Something fun, original, and made with real effort. How can we prepare? I find that when I look into the background of a movie, I get way more hyped to see it in theaters. Whether it flops or succeeds, the excitement you feel when you actually get invested in a story makes it worth the experience. For Clayface's origin story, I suggest you go back to Batman the Animated Series. In Feet of Clay, we find Matt Hagen, an experienced and successful actor. But Matt had an accident before getting famous that disfigured his face, and to secure more roles in the future, he had to use a highly experimental product called Renew You. Renew You is made by Daggett Industries, and it wears off after 24 hours, so it's addictive. It's kind of funny, but this episode is also a thinly veiled metaphor for how people can get drawn into a life of crime because of drug dependencies. In order to pay for his daily maintenance, Hagen does sketchy jobs for Roland Daggett. This time, he pretends to be Bruce Wayne so that he can get important documents, and in the process, he hospitalizes Lucius Fox. This brings heat to Daggett, so now Matt is a loose end. Daggett decides it is time to end their arrangement permanently. Daggett's thugs hold Matt down and force him to swallow a huge amount of Renew You. Then they leave him for dead in his car. I'm telling you guys, this show was definitely not a kid's show. Some of the themes were very dark and very heavy. Perfect for Batman, of course, but it amazes me that they were able to get this kind of material on primetime television for all ages. Matt's workmate finds him, but by now, Matt's body has transformed entirely into malleable clay because the formula saturated every cell in his body. Sticky too, from the looks of it.
Ew.
Matt realizes his mutated form allows him to now imitate other people and form weapons out of his body. So he attempts to take out Daggett and his thugs. Batman intervenes a couple times, and in the end, Matt fakes his own death to escape. The story of Clayface was always sad and disturbing, and if the rumors are true, this new movie is going to take it to a whole new level of shock and horror. You might not want to take the kids to this one.